Guys and girls, what is going on? Thank you so much for coming back to check out the stream this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our weekly restock update for PS5 and Xbox Series X. So if you're looking for any of those systems, we got you covered. We're here with Stock Tracker, and let me just say what's up to you guys really quick, and then we'll say what's up to Mr. Stock Tracker. I want to say thank you so much to him for joining us this evening. But let me say what's up to everyone in the chat here. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. Juggy, welcome back, my friend. And Parajess, fellow moderator. And Nonchalant, haven't seen you in a while, man. Thank you so much for being here. Murdoch, what's going on, Murdoch? Let's do this. I love it. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's do it, man. So without further ado, Stock Tracker, what is going on, my friend? Are you here? Are you here with us?
Oh yeah, I'm chilling, man. How are you doing?
Stock Tracker, dude, it's good to hear your voice again, man. It's been, I think, like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. There's been a lot of entertainment.
Oh man, I hear you. I hear you, man. And are you a football fan? Are you watching the games today? Who's? I
I
don't
haven't
even
been
know who's
watching.
playing.
I'll admit I've just been playing my Switch like nonstop. Like
Yeah.
over the weekend, I'm just like trying to zone in really hard. I started playing Arceus, but then instead I started like watching a stream, a friend's stream Arceus. Instead, I've been playing like a heck of a lot of Harvest Moon.
Oh, what
Um,
system are you playing it on?
Yeah, it's on the Switch. It's like the Friends of Mineral Town. It's a remake from one that was on the Game Boy Advance. And I played the heck out of the Game Boy Advance one back in the day. So it's like a nostalgia trip for sure. I'm all in it.
Man, I played it on the Game Boy, on the Game Boy Color. That was the last Harvest Moon I played. But is this one?
Yeah,
Do you recommend this one?
I would because they're pretty true to the original. It's just like, graphical update. And I have to say one big difference between this Harvest Moon versus like the Game Boy Advance version of Friends of Mineral Town is that in the Game Boy Advance version, if you like neglect your animals, like your cows and stuff, they can actually get sick and die.
Oh my God.
Which is a little dark, right? And that's the version I was playing when I was like younger.
Thank you so much for being here with us. We are gonna talk restock. So how about we start
Yeah,
talking
let's get
about?
into it.
Let's get into it, man. And the first major retailer I wanted to ask you about was GameStop. What do we know about GameStop, Stock Tracker?
So we don't have anything confirmed for GameStop right now. We know that they, this past week they did another in-store kind of event, and they've been doing those more often than they've actually been selling PS5 online. So I'm kind of curious if they're just gonna kind of stick with that. It seems like about 70-80% of the time now it's PS5 in store. What I don't like about that is that, of course, it's not every store, and they often choose the same stores over and over again for these events. And so entire states aren't included. Like there are some, states that maybe have one store that's participating. So I have to say too, with like the bundles that they're selling, like those bundles are pricey enough that they could put them up online, like they finally did with that Call of Duty bundle with a red controller. They finally did that, and it was in stock for like maybe a solid 10 minutes, which is good for PS5, right?
Yeah.
Um, they could keep doing that, and it would be a lot more open, because we know GameStop's going to sell bundles either way as long as they can. And I would just rather it be a bit more equitable, because in store is great, if you have that option, but it really does it locks a lot of people out. So I hope they get a little bit better of a balance with that, because if they're going to sell the bundles anyways, um, and it can stay in stock for like 10, even 20 minutes, then they should definitely try to do more of the shipping stuff. But I get it. So yeah, nothing confirmed yet for GameStop. I would be curious to see if they do an online drop this week. They've been doing the online Xbox drops kind of often. like every week or two, they're dropping this same kind of bundle, which I believe it was the Xbox with the controller, additional controller, $50 GameStop gift card, and 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. It's one of the most, acceptable bundles that they've ever done. And so, if somebody can afford I think it's like 650 without taxes on that bundle, it's way lighter than what they've done before. It doesn't include any games that, they're putting in the bundle that they're charging, $60 for the game in the bundle, but selling on GameStop.com for $20 or $30. I'm glad they're
Right,
not doing that. Like with
right.
Far Cry, it's just like putting Far Cry in a bundle is just kind of torture at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just messed up. Uh,
They might
so
as well
yeah,
put in
nothing
like
confirmed, but it has been happening often.
okay. And I found just recently with GameStop, they haven't really been giving their heads up a day before, right? Like the last two times I noticed, it was like on a Monday.
Yeah, yeah, and they just do it. They just tweet it out.
Yeah.
They're having fun with that, especially with the Xbox thing. Like they'll just send out emails, and it'll be like Xbox, Xbox alert, drop is going, is live now, and it's just they're trying to hype it up and stuff. Um, with the PS5 though, they actually the PS5 bundle that they did online, they did give a heads up the day before. So
Oh, with the
so
PS5?
that was good. Yeah, yeah, they confirmed it via email, and so we knew exactly what the bundle would contain and everything a day before. So of course that's another
Oh.
reason why it'll sell out in about 10 minutes or less, because people have had time to prepare, maybe get their
Right.
bank account ready.
Right, right. We definitely went through a lot of those tips on for GameStop. That's an important one. Make sure you have all your payment information updated, and that a lot of times too is that you'll try to sign into your GameStop app, and then it'll try to confirm your email address. So make sure all that, like, your sign in information is updated and correct, and your payment information.
Yeah, and a common issue I've been seeing with GameStop drops uh, is that like people will like when the drop goes live, people might not even see the add to cart button. And if that ever happens to you guys, I recommend just like signing out and then signing back in. I've seen that fix it, or try opening in a different browser or an incognito browser. That's your tool belt right there. So if you see that issue come up and people are like, it is live, like what are you talking about? um, yeah, maybe just sign out and sign back in. And thankfully, yeah, I mean, like 10 minutes or so for a PS5 bundle, 10 minutes, I mean, is still pretty fast for anything to sell out. But I mean, we're used to drops that can last for a minute or less in some cases. So, if you're having any kind of issues, at least you do have more than a couple seconds to sign out, sign back in, and then make sure that you can, enter your card information, everything like that. In general, it's always going to save you time though to have accounts with all the major retailers, your login saved. I wouldn't just like you don't want to be scrambling with any of this, have your payment information saved and everything like that too.
Right. Right, exactly, man. Thank you so much for the information tracker.
Yeah.
What's up? What's going on in the chat, man? What's going on, dude? We're definitely gonna get into Walmart in a little bit, but the next retailer I wanted, hey, Leagy and Clyburn Wubs, thank you so much for swinging by, and I also appreciate the likes. Also, just wanted to mention really quick, if you guys want to win 100 Buckaroos, you can check the description. All the information on how to win $100 is right there, and we're gonna be giving that away live on stream this coming Saturday, February the 5th. So the information is there if you guys are interested in checking it out. But what I wanted to ask Tracker about next is Target. Have we heard anything about Target?
So I can say that I have the multiple contacts with Target employees, and there's no doubt that they are building up for another restock. I was even going to a local Target just the other day to see if they had Arceus, and thankfully they did, because I went to Walmart first and they didn't. And I overheard somebody asking about PS5, and at my local store, he was like, "Yeah, we have a bunch in the back right now, but we just have." He was explaining to her, he's like, "We have to wait until basically every store in the state has at least one disc PS5 console." Um, and that's what the employees are told about it. But basically, yeah, it sounds like even my local stores have a bunch in the back, and that's what I've been hearing from employees. Into last week, I was hearing that from people. So um, I would say that there's a very good chance for Target to restock PS5 online this week.
Okay, and that's for PS5. Did you hear anything about Series X? Are Sunday mornings still a good time for in-store to check for?
Honestly, just about any day is really worth checking out Target. Generally, opening time is going to be the best time. But they really can get like a small amount of consoles. Some stores can get a small amount of consoles multiple days in a week. Like especially some of the bigger stores, like they can get you know to this day for this day. So it's worth checking on a regular basis, and that is a really good way to avoid having to buy a bundle.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't help but notice, like on my Facebook, a lot of people commenting like every time Xbox like mentions like or tweets, or even on Twitter, on social media in general, every time Xbox puts out like an advertisement, I see all these comments saying, "Yeah, if I could find a Series X." And I'm like thinking, "Man, Target, you could literally get one this week if you can just like check with your local Target, you know?" So
Yeah, if you
they're
go in store
yeah.
regularly, if you can manage to go in there several days in a row as they open, you're bound to luck out.
Yeah, and I go in when I respond to them, I mean they'll ignore me, but I'm thinking, my gosh, man, like if only you guys knew, like you could get a Series X this week. It's not that
They're out
hard,
there.
but
Yeah, you just have to be really persistent about it. If you're gonna like check in multiple days in a row, then don't skip a day, because that could just be the day that you miss it. But honestly, I've seen people time and time again who just check in. Uh, they'll go like 4 or 5 days in a row, and finally they'll find one. So yeah, you'll have to be persistent, but it's there.
yeah, for
And they're
sure.
still selling them in stores, so it's a good opportunity for sure.
Definitely. Definitely. Lee Gee says, any news on Microsoft Store or more emails? I still have store credit until the 19th, but no email. We'll get into that in a little bit, Lee Gee. But the next thing I wanted to ask Tracker about is something that the chat was asking, is about Wally World, aka Walmart. What is going on with Walmart? Tracker, you got any
Yeah,
update for us, man?
yeah. So what I've been seeing over the past couple of weeks is that a lot of the Walmart orders are still being fulfilled, but I think a majority of them are fulfilled now. And generally, when we get closer to that point, we can anticipate a Walmart restock coming soon. Also, in the last drop, we saw that most of the dates they weren't as far out as Walmart would usually do. So, say like the drop was earlier in the month, most of the the projected dates that they gave were actually within the month of January. What we've seen before is they would, drop early January maybe, and they'd say, there could be dates as far as like mid or late February. So I think they're changing a lot of their logistics and just how they project those dates. And I think the dates that are the furthest out, which were like late January, um, and first week of February, I think that those were much closer to being accurate, and probably a better indicator of when the next restock might actually occur. Because I think you know Walmart has just gotten crap for so long, and you know
Yeah.
I'm gonna say rightfully so. Hot take here for their inconsistencies and shipping and fulfillment and everything. So I do think in this next week, it's very possible to see a Walmart restock. They've taken several weeks off. They've been fulfilling a lot of those orders. A majority of the orders are fulfilled at this point. So I think there's a very good chance for Walmart this week. And when they drop, it's usually, all the consoles. So if you're looking for a Series X and you don't want to check in Target every day, that's another opportunity to get one without a bundle. And then, yeah, they always do disc PS5, and they often do digital as well. So, yeah, we'll know ahead of time. So that, like, because they usually update the page at least one day before to show that there's going to be a drop. Sometimes it is the same day, but like several hours later. Generally, it's 3 p.m. Eastern, so that's the time frame to kind of expect, and it's usually on a Wednesday or a Thursday. So yeah, we'll be watching Walmart, and we'll know also in advance if it's going to be for Walmart Plus members or if it's going to be for public. So if you don't have Walmart Plus, you'll have time to sign up.
What's up in the chat says last drop was Walmart Plus only. I wonder if this
That's right.
time it will be open. Do they tend to like alternate? Is that a
Yeah,
pattern that you?
yeah, you're right. No, they definitely tend to alternate, and I think we talked about this before, but I think Walmart wants to do a member restock basically every month so that it kind of justifies people like having monthly memberships or having the yearly membership, especially the people who are just trying to get a console. Because, if you don't get one the first time around, they want you to be able to try the next month and not cancel your membership.
Right, right.
So, if they do a public restock, I would still say that there's a chance to see another member restock within the month of February.
Robbie K in the chat says Walmart loves to cancel way too often. I saw a bunch of orders canceled last drop. Is that did you notice that, Tracker, or?
Yeah, I mean it's been a pretty consistent thing with them, but it's also just like it's similar to what happens with Target. Like Target's cancellations are kind of like off the chain. Um, like and we all love Target because you can, buy a console and you can pick it up the same day, and that's awesome. But it's kind of heartbreaking at a certain point how many of those orders just end up getting canceled like after the confirmation has come in, and people
Yeah.
just get this out of stock email from Target. With Walmart, if there's going to be a cancellation, it usually takes place within 48 hours after the order going through. And the majority of people who do get cancellations are people who tried to order multiple of the same type of console. You can't do that. Like you just can't do that to the same, like with the same address and with the same payment information. You can even have two different accounts, and if you're using the same address, they're going to cancel duplicates. They do a lot of cross referencing. So that's one side of it. But of course, there's a lot of this that's automated, and so there are people who've never purchased a PS5 through Walmart or an Xbox, and their first time trying to get one, they get the order in, and then it just suddenly, like, they don't know why, but it gets canceled. That can happen with a lot of different retailers. Walmart is not perfect at all. I think I was just indicating that a moment ago.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they deserve some flack from time to time, but yeah, in most cases, like when there's the queue and people get through with a PS5, some people try to get back in the queue and then they try to buy another disc PS5 and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome. I got one for me and my best friend with my account. This is great." And then they get canceled later and they're like, "Why did this happen?" It's going to cancel any duplicates that are going to the same address. So um and through the same account, like I said, they do so much cross-referencing. There's a lot of automatic canceling that just takes place, and unfortunately there is going to be a percentage of people who catch the bad side of the automatic cancellation process even without trying to purchase multiple.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But for the majority of the time, it usually is isolated to those times like that you mentioned where it might be someone who's bought it before, or they're trying to buy another one. You know what I mean? It's all dependent on like your situation. If you've never owned a PS5 ever and you got your payment information ready to go, like honestly from my experience, like chances are you'll get it. So don't let that stop you from trying for it at least.
Yeah,
Uh
and I would also say, just in general, with like, trying to get through on restocks and stuff, there are a lot of people who get canceled because their cards have like fraud alerts and stuff, and they might
mhm.
not know that until they put the order through, and then they get an email, or they don't get an email, and it just gets like auto canceled due to like fraud protection. So,
Oh
if you
yeah.
if you guys don't know if your card will do that, or if you just want to be sure, I would say, you know, at the start of this week, contact your bank, contact your card company, and just say, hey, I'm expecting to put in a large purchase this week, and you'll probably want to give some kind of dollar amount. If you're thinking of a bundle as a possibility, just make sure that you're factoring in taxes and everything like that, and maybe just give yourself a higher end kind of limit for that, because you just don't want to be in that situation where you're like, yes, I got my order, and then your card's like, no, you didn't, because I don't think this is you.
Right, yeah,
I see that.
exactly.
I see that happen on every single drop. I've seen it happen with every single retailer, and that comes down to the card and not the retailer in that case.
Robbie's asking if you think Walmart will drop on the 13th like they did last month, but I've seen Walmart drop on like the 8th of December and also the 22nd of November. So it's like I don't think it's limited to just the day.
No, no,
Yeah.
I think there's a very good chance that this first week of February is a solid chance for Walmart, but if not
Yeah.
this week, definitely next week. And any of those dates would be before the 13th, and the 13th is a Sunday anyways, so they definitely wouldn't do that. I would say this coming week is top of mind, going to include Walmart. But if they don't drop this week, almost definitely the week that follows.
All right. Hopefully that answered some of your questions, you guys. This stream will be available for replay with timestamps by tomorrow morning. So thank you so much for swinging by, ladies and gentlemen. And I need to say a huge shout out to the latest subscriber, Calinator91. Welcome to the crew, my friend. And the latest super chat. Guys, never feel pressured to super chat, but it does help keep the lights on here, and also it does help to do giveaways. We're giving away $100 next this coming Saturday, so make sure to check out the description on how to win that money. But I do need to say a special shout out to ZenKill24, who super chatted a couple of days ago during our Xbox stream. That it was a really good stream. In case you guys haven't checked it out, I had Ellie the Mage on here with me. She's an Instagrammer that's close to 20,000 followers on Instagram, and she gave us really good insight on what it's like to be a female streamer on Twitch. She's a big Twitch streamer. So thank you guys so much for checking out that stream if you swung by on Friday, and also thank you so much for being here this evening with us, with me and Mr. Tracker. All right. The next store I want to ask you about, man, is Best Buy. So what's going on with Best Buy?
So Best Buy, when we look at the patterns, Best Buy is generally a 1 to 2 week interval retailer. So we can expect that because they skipped this past week, that there's a very good chance that they're going to restock this coming week. We don't know if there's going to be a member restock or public restock. They often do both in the same week. When it is a member restock, it's Mondays. They like to do their member Mondays. But yeah, like I said, it just because they do a member restock doesn't mean that they won't drop for the public on like Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. But yeah, they skipped it. excuse me, they skipped this past week completely. Like they didn't even drop GPU, which a lot of people were expecting that they would because the new 3050 card came out. Um, but yeah, the way things look right now, looks pretty promising for a GPU drop this coming week. They haven't dropped Series X in a good while, like several weeks. Um, Before this past week, they dropped disc PS5 and digital PS5. And then the week before that, they dropped just disc PS5. So yeah, I think they're coming due for basically all the consoles. Maybe a good graphics card drop this coming week. As we've seen before, they like to do a lot in one day. So it could very well be that they do all of those in the same day. And retailers like to compete with each other. This is something I like to remind people of, is like they're competing with each other for your money. And I wouldn't put it past Best Buy to want to be like, hey, you know what? We're going to take Thursday. Thursday is all ours, and we're going to drop Series X. We're going to drop PS5. We're going to drop GPU. So I would definitely put Best Buy at the top of the list this week for potential retailers.
Okay, awesome, man. And with that, I know Total Tech gets a lot of flack, but and I've already come to terms with it's dependent on who owns Total Tech. Like, it could be a good value to some people, it could be a bad value for other people. But did I forgot? Like, my memory escapes me right now. Did the last drop require Total Tech at Best Buy for PS5 and Xbox? Can you remember
It
off the
didn't.
top of your...
Yeah, it definitely didn't. It was a public restock. Um, yeah, and the last time they sold consoles, it was just PS5, but they did disc PS5, and then they did digital after that, and it was completely public.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see. They actually don't do a whole lot of Total Tech restocks, which is not so great for the people who have Total Tech and they really want that opportunity and a better shot at getting one. I definitely understand that. But when Total Tech first started for these PS5 drops and stuff, I think we were all pretty concerned that a majority of their drops would switch to just being Total Tech only. But
Right.
that's been the exact opposite of what we've seen. So
Yep.
I'm glad for that, because I did not want like 80%, 90% of their drops to be, oh, you have to have a $200 membership or never mind.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, guys, some time has passed since they announced that these some of these sales were going to be tied to Total Tech, but I think at this point, for it was an added benefit for those who already wanted it. So that's something I'm starting to realize also about Total Tech. I think the people who paid for Total Tech, in my opinion, the majority of them got it for other reasons. And for those who got it only for the PS5 and Series X, hopefully you checked out a lot of our streams and videos, because we did say that, how to cancel that membership if it was something you didn't think you were going to find value in. But don't buy. I wouldn't recommend buying Total Tech only for PS5 and Xbox. Buy it if you're going to find value out of the other services that they offer. But that's just my opinion. That's just
Yeah, no,
my...
I totally agree with you on that personally, because yeah, you don't want to be out $200 and just see like, a bunch of public only restocks, and you might even, secure one through a public restock, and you're like, well, why do I have this stupid membership then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so be sure to read about the different benefits of actually having that membership. It's awesome for some people, and some people save like thousands of dollars in a year from having Total Tech because of what they purchase, how often they purchase, and what different benefits they use at Best Buy. So, like with any membership, just see what you're actually getting out of it.
Have you heard anything about Xboxes or PS5s in Best Buys? I know last month we were seeing some in Texas, but I was just
Yeah.
wondering if...
Yeah, I remember that. No, it hasn't been really going around again like it was before. That kind of seemed like a one-off thing. I wonder if they're just like trying to figure out when's the right time that they can actually start doing that more regularly. But no, I haven't seen anything like that. Um, I would say though, if you guys do have Best Buys around and you're willing to check somewhat regularly, it's worth seeing if they do have Xbox Series X, because a lot of people, last time Best Buy restocked Series X, a lot of people just canceled their orders. And part of that was we were seeing the resale value was like totally tanking. And so
Right.
resellers were like, never mind.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
exactly.
yeah, so you never know. It's worth checking in. And also, just in general, like some people with those pickup kind of situations, some people just forget to pick it up, and then they're kicking themselves later for forgetting to do it. Um, but then when that happens, more often than not, Best Buy can actually sell that console in store. Like they don't just put it back in the pile for the next like online restock, unlike what Target might do. Like Target might actually just like hold on to it for the next restock. Um, Best Buy will more likely actually like make it available. So, if you're a really persistent person, want to take your chances and you got a bunch of free time, feel free to check out your local Best Buy, on a somewhat regular basis. Ask customer service like, hey, do you guys have any PS5s or Xbox Series X? Like I've been trying to get one online. I haven't been able to get one. And you never know. You might end up picking up somebody else's cancellation. I've seen it happen before. So you never know.
I know we're getting some questions in the chat, you guys. We'll definitely get into those in a little bit, but I did want to ask the next retailer here. What the heck is going on with Amazon? Because they didn't drop last week, right?
They did not. No.
Okay.
This is like the first time that we're getting to the end of the month and they haven't dropped at all.
I mean,
So it's a
so
very curious time for them.
they have to drop this week then, right? I mean, is that already like a given, or am I just jumping the gun here?
I mean, that's how I feel about it. I feel like, if they don't drop on Monday, it doesn't mean that they're not going to drop until the end of February. I think they just might change up their patterns a bit. Because
Yeah,
because as we've talked about before, like they would usually drop between the 20th and the 25th. And then we saw a month where they dropped on like the 27th. We're like, okay, so it's kind of like pushing it out a little bit more. This last time that they dropped, the initial one that they did was on the 28th, and that was the one where nobody got through,
yeah.
and it was just a mess. And then they did an actual like real drop where people were actually able to purchase and stuff on the 30th. So I technically consider that one to have been on the 30th. Um, so they've been pushing that date out further and further in recent months. I really wouldn't be surprised to see them just drop it on Monday.
That's what I
You
was gonna
know,
say. I think they're gonna drop it tomorrow, man. I think they're gonna do the drops tomorrow. I mean, that's just an
yeah, I think
educated
there's a very good
guess. Yeah.
chance. Yeah, I mean they've dropped PS5 on Mondays before, both for US and for Canada. Generally, Amazon does tend to restock in the first half of the week, as opposed to, Best Buy that's usually in the second half of the week. So, I would say if they don't drop on Monday, it doesn't mean that they won't drop on Tuesday or Wednesday just because it's just because it's February.
Right. Right.
I think this week is it. I think this is the week, personally.
And the time, is it still safe to say that they love dropping at 12 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah, that's like that's a pretty good estimate. When people ask me, I say between the hours of 10 a.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Eastern. It gives you a really good window. It's not too wide of a range, and it really can be closer to like the 10 a.m. hour or closer to noon. So I would just kind of plan on that window.
Okay. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff.
Yeah,
Let's
they
jump in.
haven't done like an overnight drop in a long time. Thank God.
Oh yeah, man. Remember when they used to drop at 3 in the morning? That was terrible. But yeah, it's been I want to say like over a year now. They were doing that like a little after the launch date of the PS5 and Xbox. They were
They had done it in like April of last year, if I
yeah.
remember right, and
Okay.
maybe one other time. But yeah, they've definitely moved away from that. What we've seen more often than not for Amazon is, yeah, they tend to drop in the morning
All right, you guys, we'll get into
and
some of
not
the.
3 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. It's like only half of the world is the half of the world that can't get them shipped to their country is awake at that time. But um thank you guys so much for being here, much appreciated. And thank you so much for the likes. Do appreciate the likes, you guys. It helps keep the lights on here on the channel so I can keep streaming for you guys. In case you didn't know, I am streaming Nintendo related news and topics on Mondays. Then we do PlayStation Wednesdays, and then we do Xbox Fridays, and then Saturdays. Usually it's Saturdays, but we had to do a little bit of a change. In the weekend, we have restock updates with Stock Tracker. And so, Tracker, I need to ask you, man, we went through some of the major retailers, and I'll go through some of the questions I see in the chat. But is there
Sure.
any other retailers you wanted to give us a heads up on?
Let's see. So yeah, we talked about Walmart, Best Buy, Target, Amazon. Yeah, I would just say in general, if you're looking for a PS5, the main retailers that I would keep in mind this week are going to be Target, Best Buy, Amazon, and Walmart. And I would probably put Amazon on the top of that list just because they're really pushing it right now. I would also say it's possible we could see a PlayStation invite drop. So definitely make sure you guys are registered for a chance at getting invited. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, yeah. So Microsoft. We should definitely talk about Microsoft really quickly.
Yes, let's talk about Microsoft.
Yeah. So we did see more recently that they sent out invites again. And what's interesting is that some people were able to use the link even if they weren't invited. Like
Which
so
link
the
though? Like,
just like any link. And I think people who had been invited before and had errors like trying to sign in and use it
mhm.
were actually able to get through this last time by clicking on an old link that they had been invited through.
Yeah.
So when you guys start to see that Microsoft invites are going around, if you have an old invite, I'd check it out. And if you see an invite link posted up on Twitter, see if you can sign in and actually build yourself a bundle. Because I saw some people were able to actually do that. But yeah, just in general, we've officially seen Microsoft sending out Xbox invites. They haven't done the Halo Xbox yet, not this
Mhm.
year at least. But that would be the first step in them actually doing it again. They would probably start with regular Series X before doing any more Halo.
Guys, so that's a good point that Tracker brings up here. The reason, if you guys are following it on Twitter, the Series X invites that went out, people were able to click on old links. This is something I mentioned on my videos, the ones in the description. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, I did mention that you were able to use old links in those videos. So hopefully some of you guys were able to check those videos out. And this was something at the time I was kind of predicting was gonna happen. I don't want to like toot my own horn. I don't want to toot my own ocarina, but I'm gonna do it. Okay. All right. So hopefully now you guys know for sure those invites that you got like from months ago from Microsoft will work. So if you're following Stock Tracker on Twitter, his Twitter account is in the description. You get an alert from him saying invites are going out. You just use the old link, and that's gonna be a surefire way to build your own bundle. And hopefully somewhere down the line, I'm not saying it's a possibility because obviously a lot of time has passed since the Halo Xbox has been released, and there was a time where they were sending out Halo invites, but hopefully someone out there was able to check out those videos because I prepped you guys on these invites like 2 months ago and back in November of last year. So hopefully, or 3 months ago now, hopefully you guys were able to check it out. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up, man. That was a very and I saw all that going on Twitter, and I was like,
Yeah,
ah,
it
yeah.
was good. It's a good sign. It's encouraging that they're getting back to it because it does kind of I mean, that's great for anybody who's just trying to get a Series X. But like I said, if they are going to do more Halo Xbox invites, I would expect them to do a wave of regular Series X invites first.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys definitely check out Matt's video. Just make sure that you're signed up, that you can get those promotional / marketing emails, because that's going to be how they send it. If you're not if you don't have a Microsoft account, for sure you're not going to get any invite.
Right.
But make sure you do that extra step, because it doesn't guarantee that you'll get an invite, just like registering with PlayStation doesn't guarantee it, but you're guaranteed to not get one if you don't take those steps.
Yeah, definitely. And I had some people DMing me asking me if they could, if they didn't have an Xbox, like a gamer tag account or like an account set up with them. The thing is, you guys, if you follow those steps in the videos, you'll see that I mentioned you have to. I mean, it'll give you a chance to create like your own Microsoft account. So it's like you kind of do have to have an account with them, but you know, if you don't, you'll have the chance to do it. So you can sign up for an account. I mean, you don't even need to own an Xbox. You can create an account on Microsoft's website. So just wanted to put that out there. Um, what about any other retailers, Tracker? Have you heard anything about Ants Online or Costco
Oh yeah.
or Sam's Club?
Those ones we should definitely talk about. Yeah, don't want to skip over those. Because I was talking to somebody about this recently. We haven't seen a Sam's Club drop in quite some time, for both PS5 and Xbox Series X. So just in general, I would keep Sam's Club in mind. When they do drops, it tends to be on a Thursday, and it's kind of like overnight. So generally around like yeah, like midnight, 1 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be overnighter if it's Sam's Club. The bundle is actually usually pretty good. It's usually just like I think just like a controller and a game, or a game and a membership or something. But it's under $700, so it's a pretty decent bundle when Sam's Club does restock. Um, so yeah, Sam's Club is one I have in mind for this coming week, or next week for PS5 in particular. I don't know when they're going to sell Series X again. It's been a long time since they've done that. Series X for them would usually be in the daytime, though.
Okay.
Costco, we saw that they had PS5 this past week, and that was good because I saw several people get through on that one. It's a bigger bundle, but shipping is good. Is really fast, actually, usually with Costco. And their Xbox Series X bundle, when they restock that is a really good deal, because it's just the Series X and an extra controller. That's it.
That's pretty
So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, that's a solid bundle, man.
Yeah.
Definitely can't argue with that one. Um, and yeah, Costco requires a membership. You're not going to be able to get through. You're not going to be able to check out or anything without a membership on those. Sam's Club, if you don't have a membership, you can actually like add one to your cart and then check out, or you can just pay like handling fees usually, which are usually more than the actual membership. So you may as well just buy the membership. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you,
I've seen
man.
it before. It's like, yeah, it's like $40 for the membership, but then you look at like the handling fees and it's like 50, $60. So
My
yeah, you may as
gosh.
well be a Sam's Club member at that point. Let's see. Ant Online has been restocking very often. Their last bundle was a digital PS5 bundle. And again, man, they keep it going with the crazy shipping. Like every time Ant Online drops, I see people who secured from that drop, in some cases, get their console the next freaking day.
Yep.
It kind of depends on how close you are to where they're based out of in Georgia. But it's insane how quickly some people can get their consoles from those drops.
Yeah, man. I was seeing that. And also how quickly like you get followers that are able to get their console in the next couple of weeks. So it's like you gotta be following Stock Tracker, guys. He's got you. He's got you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this week, man, Like we've talked a lot about these different retailers, different potential. You know, there are restocks every single week. There are PS5 restocks every single week. Xbox Series X as well. And it's easy to get just like caught up in the day-to-day grind, and especially if there are a couple slow days in a row like we saw this past week. There are a couple slow days. That's going to happen, you know,
Yeah.
and it's going to require a little bit of patience to wait for the next restock. But seriously, when we have a slow week, that's actually a really good sign for the week that's coming, because you know, retailers, it's going to take time for retailers to build up stock. And if there's a quiet week, it kind of suggests that the next week is going to be pretty busy. I feel like this coming week is going to be pretty busy for drops.
I have the same exact feeling, man. Yeah. As someone
Yeah, and we've
try,
seen it.
yeah.
Yeah, we've been tracking it for, you know, since these consoles came out, basically, we've been seeing how this stuff happens.
Yeah.
And that's how it is every time, man. And there really are drops every single week, you know. Um, and yeah, they can be difficult. It can be, you know, it can really try your patience, but there are opportunities to get a console every single week. And, you know, if you miss out on one week, it doesn't mean it's over, you know. And yeah, and when there's a slow week, we definitely see things pick up pretty quickly not long after.
And Walter mentioned in the chat that he hopes to get one before Horizon Forbidden West. So, Walter, hopefully you're following us on Twitter. Me at 1VideoGameDude and Stock Tracker. His link is in the description. His Twitter account. He'll keep you guys updated for that PS5. Forbidden West comes out February 18th, and I'm gonna make a little bit of a prediction here. I don't think it's too far fetched. I think the demand is going to increase, especially in the next 2 weeks, building up to Forbidden West. I mean, for obvious reasons. You can play it on a PS4, but hardcore gamers like myself are gonna want to play it like the best possible way they can play it. They want to experience um the way it was meant to be played, which is like on PS5 basically. I don't think
Yeah,
Forbidden
people want that new hardware.
yeah, I don't think Forbidden West even was supposed to be for PS4. That's actually a change Sony had to make recently, especially because of all these shortages and stuff. But what do you think, Tracker? You think like we're gonna have like a after the 18th, after February 18th? You think it's gonna be a little bit easier to get a PS5?
I think there's definitely, like you're saying, there's going to be big hype leading up to it. And I think it's actually going to take a while for that to taper off. I have a strong feeling that, you know, with Forbidden West coming out on the 18th, we also have Elden Ring coming out this month. I think, you know, getting into February, we're going to see a much bigger demand for PS5 in particular. And I think, yeah, with Horizon coming out, my initial thing would be like, yeah, maybe, you know, things would kind of calm down after. But honestly, I think as people see more and more like how much better it is on a PS5, and like, you
It
know,
looks
as they see
amazing.
different footage of the game, I
It
mean,
looks
yeah, that's the
amazing,
thing.
man.
It's like the
Yeah.
more content people experience, you know, through videos and streams and stuff,
Yeah.
after the game comes out, that's going to drive hype up even more. Honestly, I think this month, you know, the demand is gonna reach a high that we haven't seen in a little while. You know, because like after Christmas, like demand kind of tanked, and into January is like people have fatigue from trying for drops and stuff. But going
Yeah.
into February, you have so many different reasons to get back on. You know, if you've taken a break from drops, because you're tired of it and stuff, you're going to find many more reasons to get back to it and try to get a console. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think, yeah,
man.
I
Forbidden
think,
West is
man,
gonna be a
when people
huge
start
console
seeing,
mover.
yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I do think like, I don't think it's going to taper off into the second half of February. I think it's only going to grow as people see more content coming out from their favorite streamers and stuff. And then, yeah, going into Elden Ring coming out this month too, like,
Right,
yeah.
right. Man, Elden
And who
Ring.
knows what's going to happen with PSVR 2, man, when that comes out too. I think I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that. The impact that that's going to have. I think it's going to. We talked about this briefly, like what we thought the price might be, like maybe around 400. I've been seeing the specs. I've been looking over the specs and stuff and comparing it to what you see from other VR headsets. This thing is going to be a beast. Like PSVR 2 is no joke. It's going to be a very high quality machine. Um, I think 400, like 399 is too low. I don't think it's going to be that cheap. I think it's probably going to be at least as much as a disc PS5 console.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
Man,
so
I'm not gonna
prepare
be able to get
yourselves
that
for.
ever.
I know, man. And yeah, so I would just say prepare yourselves for that possibility. I'm looking at it and I'm like, dang, like the way it measures up against other competitive VR headsets right now. Um,
I mean, the big
there's
one's
no
Oculus, right? Right now, I think that's
well,
the big.
Oculus is like the easiest one to get, and it's kind of on the lower end in terms of specifications.
Yeah.
But like the PSVR 2 headset is going to be more in the realm of something like, in terms of quality and performance and everything, it's going to be more in the realm of something like uh, the Valve Index, um, or I think it was the HP one that's like really, really high quality. And the Valve
Oh.
Index, I think the headset alone is like $800.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
So
pretty
I
pricey.
don't think they're going to charge 800 for the PSVR 2, but I think it's impossible at this point. I mean, just based on yeah, I was initially on that bandwagon thinking, 399, it just seems like, cuz they're going to it's going to require a PS5 console, so they're going to try to make it accessible. I think with what they're putting into this thing, they're going to be taking a huge loss if they sell it at that price point. Um, and even selling it for 500, they might be taking some losses on it. So um yeah, I would say, prepare yourself for the day for the day that we see GameStop selling a PS5 plus PSVR 2 bundle.
Ooh.
um
That's
yeah,
gonna be
and that
like.
bundle, dude, that's gonna scare some people.
That's already scaring me, man. I'm gonna stick with
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with my Nintendo Labo. How about them? How about
there you
that? I'm
go,
just gonna
man.
stick with the
What
Labo.
more do you need?
That's crazy,
I
man.
We're gonna see it this year, man. If they drop, I mean, they're planning on releasing the headset this year. Going into maybe May or June. It seems like that might be the window when it comes out. We're gonna see a PS5 bundle very easily over $1,000 being sold by some retailers. Not to name any names like I already named, but GameStop is definitely going to be one of those.
Hey, man. Like speaking of GameStop, really quick, because this is going back to a question I had earlier, from the chat.
Sure.
Uh, just really quick, nonchalant. Yeah, Elden Ring, man. So something tells me Nonchalant is excited for Elden Ring. Walter Sample says, I just followed both of you just right now. Awesome, Walter. We got you, man. We'll get you that PS5 before the 18th. Um but someone mentioned in the chat, Alejandro Bautista says, when do you guys think GameStop will chill with the bundles? The PS5 bundles.
Oh, they're going to take their time on that. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're able to sell out a PS5 bundle, that's over $700 in 10 minutes or less, they're not going to stop doing that. You know,
Right.
it's going to take a while. They have no reason to stop doing that. And I wish, it could be just like, oh, just don't buy it. Like with the Xbox situation, like they had those bundles that were staying in stock for a couple days,
Mhm.
and then they introduced a cheaper bundle. I don't think that's going to happen with PS5 for a while. And if we're going to have, Horizon coming out, then we have Elden Ring coming out, all these really hyped games. And then, not too far into this year, we're going to see PSVR 2 come out. Like, I don't know if there's really going to be a time where GameStop doesn't sell a PS5 bundle until maybe in the second half of the year, honestly.
Yeah, and because if we're still seeing them put out Series X bundles, you know, I'm waiting for them to put out a Series X on its own, and then we could start looking forward to PS5s. I think Series X will be the first indicator. If they can just get away from those bundles that were in stock for like 3 days straight, if that didn't deter them, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
I don't see the PS5
I'm right there with you
bundles.
on it.
Yeah.
And honestly, like people want to hate on the Xbox bundle, but like we were saying, you know, this the more recent bundle they've done is better. It's much better, and it's competitive enough, and it stays in stock long enough that it's easier for people to get. Um, that bundle still sold out in less than 40 minutes. So we've
Oh,
seen that GameStop is willing to wait multiple days with a bundle in stock before they make any kind of change. If they're
yeah.
still selling Xbox Series X bundles in less than an hour, there's no reason for them to stop doing that bundle either.
Right. Yeah.
So it's gonna be a while, I think, before we see any change um, with Xbox. Like I don't see any time in the next couple of months here that GameStop is going to stop with the Series X bundles. Um, because I mean, Elden Ring is going to drive up demand for Series X as well. That's something to keep in
Oh
mind.
yeah. Yeah, we got
Um,
a plenty of more games coming up down the
yeah,
pipe.
yeah, it's a big year. It's not just Halo anymore, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Jay
so yeah, I would
Gonzalez.
say I don't anticipate seeing GameStop stopping doing their PS5 or Xbox Series X bundles until the second half of the year at this rate.
Jay
You
Gonzalez
know,
says, "How's it going, Matt? How you hope you had a great weekend. I hope you're having a good weekend too." Jay Gonzalez says, "Tracker, I appreciate what you do. I'm looking forward to PSVR 2, but no bundle for me." That man, that PSVR 2 bundle, ooh, that's gonna be
yeah,
that's gonna be a pricey
yeah, I'm gonna have
pricey
to sit
one.
down for that.
I know, man. I'm just gonna be like, let me go sell some more plasma. Um, and Nonchalant says $700 is the sweet spot for him when it comes to bundles. Yeah, that hey, 700 isn't too bad. I mean, if they're adding stuff that you want, you know, that's not too bad. I like it when they add like gift cards. That's like a cool thing because at least I can choose
Yeah,
what
gift
I.
card is a lot more acceptable. Yeah, I that's what I've tried to tell people too is like that's way better than them putting on some games that like in the case of like I think it was like the Far Cry and NBA bundle or something like that. Like most people are gonna only like one of those games if they like
WWE
either of them.
WWE 2K20. What the hell? My gosh.
Yeah, like getting a gift card is, I mean, it's easy to make use of that with GameStop. And
Yeah.
just like anything like that. Like you'll find something, if you don't want to get a game through GameStop, you can get a headset, you know. Um, if you want an Elite controller, you can put it towards that. If you want to get like memory expansion for your Xbox Series X, you can use the gift card for that. So it gives you so many more options. I definitely agree with you. It's nicer to see that in a bundle if they're
For
going to
sure.
do that. If they're going to do a bundle, it's nice to have that option.
For sure, man. For sure. Some of you guys are giving me updates on the game. So who's winning? The Rams or the 49ers? Do you have a Oh, Parajess says Niners 10, Rams 7, end of the first half. Ooh, looks like it's gonna be a close one. Are you guys watching the games tonight, Tracker?
No, I'm probably like I think when the stream is over, I'm probably gonna jump back into gaming on my Switch.
Yeah, man, I hear you,
it,
bro. I'm
it's
gonna
been
put
nice.
on. I'm gonna get my Labo out. I'm gonna get my Labo out, and I'm gonna
Yes,
experience some VR.
man. I have to say, speaking of VR, Skyrim VR is so awesome. Like if
Oh
you've
my!
gotten a chance to experience Skyrim in VR, it's pretty dope.
Oh, is it?
And yeah, yeah, like and I've always been a person who like mods the heck out of Skyrim because I've been playing the game for so long. I have to keep it flavorful and stuff. So I have like goodness, like upwards of 200 or 300 different mods for my Skyrim on my PC. And having Skyrim VR modded out like that, like no joke, like you can use wands and stuff. Like if you're waiting on
Yo,
a VR, if you're waiting on a VR Harry Potter, you know,
that's what I was
just
thinking of. That's what I was thinking of right
yeah,
now.
totally. I've been waiting on VR Harry Potter since VR was even an option, you know, and VR Pokemon. You know, I haven't seen any great like Pokemon mods or anything for Skyrim, but you know, you can use staffs and stuff in Skyrim, so using a wand isn't really a stretch. Um, yeah, Skyrim VR is pretty fun, man. I have to say, like if you have that option, and I just use the Oculus headset with a really long USB-C cable and plug that into the laptop. Honestly,
I gotta
it's
try it
fun.
out because Sony finally sent me my adapter after like a year or so. I gotta. But I
The
got the I.
Serenade worked.
It did. It did, man. There you go, guys. In case you haven't gotten your VR adapter from Sony for your PS5, just sing to the representative who answers, and you'll get it. I got it within like
Yeah,
five
sing him
days.
a
I was
sweet
like,
song.
yeah. And
Yeah,
but
give
now
him a little performance. It'll happen.
now I just need to I need to buy some wired headphones because I got the old school VR headset, the version 1 for the PS4, and so that one
Oh yeah, yeah.
you needed to have wired uh earbuds. It wasn't like the
Okay, yeah.
yeah, the second version of the PSVR had the earbuds attached to it, but this one you have to like get your own, and like I lost the other ones, like, and I'm like so
No.
I'm gonna run really quick to the dollar store and just pick some up. So maybe
Yeah.
I can try that Skyrim VR, but it's gonna sound terrible probably.
Yeah, I we have the first Oculus headset, the first Oculus Quest. We don't have the Quest 2. But I like that because I don't have to have a Facebook account, which is great because I don't have a Facebook account. um and it works great. Like the Quest Link, you don't have to have like the official Link cable. I just bought like a 10-foot USB-C cable for it, and
Mhm.
it works great. I
Oh,
think they have like Fallout VR is pretty good too. I haven't really played it, but yeah, I modded the heck out of Skyrim VR, and I haven't played that in a bit. I might have to jump back in it now I'm talking about it.
Alejandro is asking, why is the PS5 SSD uh, have so many more options than the Xbox when it comes to memory expansion? It hasn't been on sale for so long.
Yeah. So the main reason that the PS5 has more options is because the form factor is the same form factor, like where you input an SSD is the same that you would get in like a PC.
Like a
So if you have
PC,
like a
yeah.
PC motherboard, yeah, you can use like an M.2 drive. That's what that is, that SSD. And so there have been companies making that form factor for years. So there are plenty of different options and very competitive options. And when there's that competition, that'll drive the price down. So that's why we see the PS5 SSDs go on sale regularly. And that also explains why the Xbox Series X/S SSD basically never goes on sale. The Seagate one, that's like $220 for a terabyte,
Yeah.
is because there's no other company that's contracted with Microsoft to be able to make that form factor. Like they made it especially for the series consoles. So that's the big problem there. We really need them to open that up to Western Digital and Sabrent and Samsung. But Seagate has had a long running relationship with Microsoft, and so it's gonna take a long time before I feel like they start opening that up a bit.
Yeah. When I heard about that, I was like, man, we're not gonna see a cheaper one for quite a bit of time. But it's incoming as the technology gets a bit older. I mean, it's been over like a year now. They Seagate does offer one, but it's half the memory, 512 gigabyte SSD, but it's 139. You're saving a little bit of money. I mean, like $90 cheaper. But they do have a 512 gigabyte, which isn't that much. I think I kind of understand like me personally, I wouldn't want to buy one that's only half a terabyte.
Half a terabyte. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Because
if
you'll
you
very
go
quickly have games, single games that are gonna be bigger than that at some point. So in this
it,
generation, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, man, that's the big downside with the Series X expansion is there's just no competition. Like once they open the doors to that, and we have like 3 or 4 other companies that are able to make that form factor, then we'll start to see some sales and good deals coming around. I waited forever to get the 1 terabyte. And once it went down to like $186 on GameStop, I picked that up instantly. And it hasn't gone on sale that low at all, like since. So when it does go on sale, and if you guys have the chance, if it's anywhere around 190,
yeah.
or that sweet 186, man, it was worth picking up. I use it. I have so many games on Game Pass just installed on SSD. It's a huge benefit. But yeah, that's what I can't stand about it, because we'll see like the PS5 SSDs, the ones that you can use in a PS5 or a PC. Those ones can get as low as like $150 for a terabyte. That's $70 cheaper than the Xbox Series X one. That's crazy.
Right. Right. Uh there is I'm looking at Seagate's website right now. There is an external SSD that's a 1 terabyte for 169.99. But the issue here is that Amazon has them for sale from third parties, so you're gonna be spending as much as like the one that connects to the back of the Series X. You'll be paying they're scalping it basically, so they're selling it for like the same price as the smaller one. But there's an external SSD from Seagate right now. I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at this right. Have you heard about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen in general that you can use, external SSDs, but you usually can't. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, I just saw something pop up. Um, uh, yeah, I had like usually you can't like launch the Series X titles um, from an external drive. At least that's what I've seen. But is there a different SSD?
I'm gonna drop the link so that they can check this out. You guys can look into it and Tracker also. Um, but I'm looking at this external SSD card that says it works for Series X, and it's a 1 terabyte. Maybe you
Yeah, let's
guys
check
can
that
look.
out.
Yeah. And Nonchalant says apparently PS5's SSD slows down load times. It depends. You want to get one that's recommended by Sony, but you also want to have a heat sink on it. Not having a heat sink can slow down loading times. That's another thing too, is a lot of people like go headstrong into just buying whatever SSD, but the ones that a stock tracker tweets out, he's already looked into them, so he won't tweet out any ones that are not high quality or low
Yeah,
quality.
yeah. I don't waste any time on anything that's not going to be worth the investment, And yeah, if you guys are going to be putting money into an SSD, you want to definitely make sure you have a heat sink or that heat sink cover that
Hmm.
Sabrent makes. That one you don't have to actually attach to the heat sink itself, which a lot of people appreciate because they're nervous about, messing
Like,
with the electronics and stuff.
yeah, it's already like built in, right?
It just replaces the cover
Oh, okay.
that's over the SSD slot, and yeah, and it's a complete heat sink. So in that case, you don't have to attach it directly to the drive. You just plug the drive in, and then you put the new cover on instead of the cover that the PS5 has, and it works great and it looks awesome. I mean, you don't get to look at it on a regular basis because you have to take covers off for it, but
R- Right.
it's nice. I was really hesitant about it when they first launched it, and I've consistently seen it perform really, really well. So you can't go wrong with that. Yeah, especially if you're hesitant to attach one to the drive yourself.
All right. So yeah, we'll look into that external SSD for. Okay, wait a minute. So this is something probably that I'm looking at people who reviewed it, but they're kind of saying, some people are saying that it doesn't load like what you were saying, Tracker. It doesn't load as fast as like the one that connects to the back of the Series X.
Yeah, yeah, it would usually be the case, and for like a Series X title specifically, it may
Yeah.
not
Okay.
it may not launch from that. It might have to be internal or the pricier plugin. Here's some news for you guys, just really quickly. I saw my buddy Pokemon Drops post this up. If you guys haven't picked up Arceus yet, some people are actually getting buy one get one free in store at Target for Pokemon Arceus.
Buy one get one free. What the hell? How's that
Yes.
happening with the app or?
No, in store only. Apparently, that's what I'm seeing here in the comments.
Oh.
Um, I love you guys, so I want to see you get a deal if you haven't picked it up yet. Here, I'll just go ahead and plug Pokemon Drops most recent post there. There are people in the comments who said that they were able to go in and get multiple copies. Yeah, buy one get one free. It doesn't seem to be every Target,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, if you haven't picked up the game yet, and if you know somebody who wants a copy, which is definitely where I'm at. I'm like, dang it, I was just at Target yesterday getting this thing.
Oh. See.
But I might go back because I know at least two other people who would play it.
Buy one get one free, but in store only. That's interesting.
Yeah, it seems like a mess up on their part.
Oh, if I didn't have social anxiety, I would go. But I'm like, I'm so like, I went to Walmart earlier and all my like in person social thing is like all drained right now.
No worries, dude. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have some rice. Uh, yeah, I made some really good like Thai peanut sauce tonight, so I'm gonna have that with some rice and probably go hit up Target now.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. Exclusive to those who stayed with us to the end of the stream. Appreciate you, dude. For some
Yeah,
reason,
yeah, absolutely.
Twitter doesn't want to load on my PC, probably because like I need to get another PC probably. But yeah, if you guys tracker
Goals.
just he posted the tweet there in the comments. That's pretty cool, man. I'm gonna run over there
Yeah,
and
that's
be like,
crazy.
I'm gonna be like,
It's
let
like
me get,
I need all the Arceus.
give me the Arceus, please. I'll take 10 copies of Arceus. I
Yeah, I
wanna,
know, right?
I'll stock up for like my friends' birthdays.
I know, right? Just start getting just throughout the year. Like, oh, you already have this? Well, hey, check it out. You can give it to somebody else.
uh, Tracker man, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Thank you for making the time, dude. Hopefully we can
Oh, you
see you
bet, man.
again next weekend. But was there anything you wanted to say before we kind of call it a night here?
Uh, no, I'd just say, yeah, if you guys are looking for those drops, this coming week is probably going to be pretty busy. So, like we always say, make sure you have your account set up, payment information saved. Anything that you can do in advance to save yourself time at checkout is always worth it. Yeah, because some of those restocks, they go really quick, unless it's a almost $800 GameStop bundle, then it might not go so quick.
Yeah, definitely not.
But yeah, no, man, thanks for having me. It's definitely good catching up with you guys, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next weekend. We'll get to recap whatever happens this week.
All right, Tracker. Yeah, sounds good, man. Usually I stay afterwards a little bit to chat you up a little bit. I have to go get like food and stuff and edit the video and stuff, but I'll keep in touch with you on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Feel free to send me a message anytime, and I'll let you know when I pick out my starter.
Yeah, man. Let me know which one you pick. Maybe we can. So we see you next time, guys and girls. Stay safe. Stay awesome. You're cool. Guys, we're gonna see you later, man. Yeah.